Alam mo yung feeling na kahit tinuruan mo na, mali pa rin ang gawa? Tinuro mo na, in-explain mo na, pero ang dami pa rin tanong. Lagi kang nag-aayos, lagi kang nag-aalalay. Parang walang natuto ng buo. Kaya ikaw pa rin ang last touch. Ikaw pa rin ang lagi na puyat. Ikaw pa rin ang laging stress. Pero sinong nagturo sa iyong magturo? Wala, di ba? That's why so many business owners stay stuck. Hindi dahil walang team na magaling, kundi dahil walang system para magturo ng tama. Minsanan lang. And if this sounds like your story, anak, I made something for you. Comment 1 task off to get the course. Yan. So, hello, beautiful business-minded people. Yan. Ito ba yung dialogue natin? No? Sayang ang pera namin, baka mag-fail lang ang business na yan. Hindi na ako magta-try ulit, baka maulit lang ang pagkatalo. Paano ba yan? Wala na kaming kapital para sa bagong business. Yan ba? Naririnig nyo ba yung mga sabi-sabi na ganyan? Now, how many times have we heard these words from entrepreneurs who experienced business failure? Tinitingnan ba natin ang mga successful entrepreneurs at iniisip na hindi sila naka-experience ng failure? Na first business pa lang nila successful na agad? But what if I told you that some of the most successful entrepreneurs today are those who learned their most valuable lesson galing sa kanilang biggest failures? Now, welcome sa ating Facebook Live dito sa Zoom, mga anak. And today is Tuesday, kaya we have another episode of our Meet My Friends series. And I am so excited to have you all here today. Since merong mga first-timers, please allow me to give you a short intro of who I am. I am Mami Negosyo. You can call me Mami N. I'm a retired business owner with 40 plus years of experience. Ang tanong nung iba, ano bang negosyo mo, Mami N? Well, among all of the businesses that I started, more than 20 of them, naging franchisees din po kami ng Chowking for 18 long years. Naging licensee kami ng STI College, yung computer school na nakikita ninyo dati. Sa Zamboanga po, we were the licensees of STI College for 28 long years. We also owned some computer repair shops, pension houses, and until now, we still have jewelry stores all over Mindanao. So, we have since passed all of these businesses to our children. Dahil nag-retire na po ako when I was 16, now I'm 70 years old. Kaya nasa kanila na po yung aming mga negosyo. Ang full-time na ginagawa ko ay ang pagtutulong sa mga business owners as an author, as a business mentor, and a coach. Ang focus ko po ay makatulong sa mga Filipino business entrepreneurs, business owners, mga couplepreneurs, no, mga kababaihan at mga kalalakihan at mga couples so that they can grow their businesses easier and faster. Ang mission ko is to share lahat ng mga lessons na pinaghirapan ko na matutunan para hindi na natin mapagdaanan. Para hindi na tayo dumaan sa mga struggles na pinagdaanan ko. Kaya meron po akong tulad nito every Tuesday na free na Facebook Live which is casted to Facebook dito po sa Zoom, no? We are holding it sa Zoom pero live casted sa Facebook. Meron din po tayong starter kit na libre. So all you have to do if you want to learn from me is to go to maminegosyo.com. And today, I'm so excited dahil pag-uusapan natin kung paanong nalugi ang ating guest. No? So ang title ng ating show is How Losing 500,000 Plus in Our Failed Cafe Led to Our Most Profitable Business Yet. No? So, let me tell you about our guest. Alam nyo ba na tulad ko, most successful business owners have failed many times before they succeeded. And after we succeed, we still fail and fail again. Hindi porke nag-succeed na kami, tuloy-tuloy na yon. Marami pa rin kaming mga pagkakamali. Nagfe-fail pa rin kami and it's okay. Ang difference lang, alam nyo ba mga anak, is that karamihan ng mga successful business owners only talk about their successes and not their failures. Especially ang kalalakihan. Dahil sabi sabi nga nila, men have bigger egos than women, kaya maingay sila about what they have built pero tahimik sila when it comes to their mistakes. Kaya, nung ang aking kaibigan na si Eloisa Cerate, nung pinakilala niya ako dito sa ating guest, talagang bumilib ako sa kanya. Dahil kahit na successful na siya ngayon, pinag-uusapan pa rin, kinikwento pa rin niya yung kanyang mga failures at saka mistakes. That is very, very rare. Siya ngayon ay ang proud owner na at saka ang founder of the Task Me Quick. Ang ganda ng pangalan ng kanyang business. Task Me Quick, no? Pero bago siya naging napaka-successful na may-ari ng isang business, ang dami niyang pinagdaanan. Registered nurse siya, no? So, sino ba nagsabi na ang mga registered nurse ay hindi nagsasucceed sa business? Na ang tanging path lang nila is going abroad, di ba? So, this guy, this guest of mine, is a registered nurse and a former BPO employee of 8 years with the highest role achieved as an operations supervisor. Kaya napaka-clear po yung kanyang leadership ability. Tapos, naging small business owner din siya ng G-Shock Replica Kaloy. Ang haba naman nito, no? Tindahan ni Kaloy selling replica or copy watches. And he is the proud co-owner of Brutic Fashion Cafe that ran for 8 months bago na bankrupt. Kaya, without further ado, pakinggan natin yung kwento niya. Allow me to welcome my inspiring young entrepreneur friend na si Mr. Carlo Angelo Orbe. Ang sabi niya, tawagin lang daw natin siyang Kaloy. No? The owner and founder of Task Me Quick. Yan, Kaloy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Mami Mirna. Thank you sa lahat ng nag-join for today's Zoom meeting. Yan, thank you so much.
Yes, you can call me Mami N. Yan, eto. Mami N, para maiksi lang. No? So, Kaloy, I will be asking you some questions muna, tapos maya-maya, we will also get questions from our viewers sa Zoom at saka sa Facebook, ha?
Sige,
Okay ba?
Okay, Mami N. Okay lang ba mag-short disclaimer lang din ako before we start?
Sure.
Okay. To our viewers, just like what Mami N mentioned earlier, I don't have any business degree. I'm not graduate of economics. I'm a Bachelor of Science in Nursing graduate. So whatever business concept or business idea I share, try to emulate or copy what you think is applicable for you. And yung mga hindi naman na applicable sa inyo, you might as well disregard it or throw it out the window. So yun lamang. Kasi there might be people that might not agree with what I do or might not align with how I do it. So that's just a short disclaimer lang naman, Ma'am. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you, no? Since you already made the disclaimer, I will also make a disclaimer. Hindi din po ako graduate ng business course, no? Ako po ay isang teacher. Actually, may master's degree. Pareho kami ni Kaloy na mahilig mag-aral. Siya, 2 yung course niya. Ako naman, may master's degree ako sa math. At ang aking dream ay makapagturo lang. Kaya hanggang ngayon, bumalik ako sa aking love na pagtuturo. Pero hindi na math ang tinuturo ko. Nag-i-interview na lang ako ng mga tao na makakatulong sa atin, sa ating mga businesses. And all I share, kaming dalawa ni Kaloy, ang sinishare lang namin ay ang aming experience. No? Hindi galing sa libro, hindi galing sa research, pero sa tunay na buhay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mami.
So, let me start with my first question, no, Kaloy? Can you take us back to when you started? Ito ba yung first business mo, yung Brutic Fashion Cafe?
That's the first parang official business namin because may pwesto na. Pero gaya nga ng sinabi mo during the introduction, I was a proud owner of G-Shock Replica Kaloy and tindahan ni Kaloy, while my wife back then when we were still a couple, she's the proud owner of Karina Shop. So actually we sell copy watches. Kung kilala niyo si Boss Toyo from Watch Your Toyo, kasabay namin siya although he was selling the authentic ones. Kami naman, we started selling the replica copy watches. So, when I was passing by Monumento, so may nakita ako dong mga watches na around 250 pesos. So, medyo na-intrigue ako. Parang ang gaganda din kasi siya tignan. And then that's what I decided to bring sa office namin. Imagine, I was working as a team leader sa isang call center and then may bit akong supot galing sa Monumento. And then ang laman nun, 5 pieces of watches. So tinry ko siyang ibenta, yung 250 naging 500, yung 500 naging 1,000, yung 1,000 naging 50,000. Nag-roll over lang yung earnings namin. And then, nakita namin, magandang business din pala itong buy and sell. And then, one time, my wife found out about yung business concept na boutique or concept store. So, ang idea ng concept store or boutique ay similar sa mga SM and Robinsons department stores where you will rent a specific area and you will sublease a portion of the area for potential sellers. So imagine if you're renting a specific space, let's say for example, for 30,000 pesos, pwede mong isublease yung smaller spaces like 5,000, 2,500 to other small business owners. So yun yung pinaka naging start ng boutique and fashion cafe.
So yung Karina, ganun din.
Karina Shop. Yes, Karina Shop naman is more on women's watches and women's perfume and makeup kits.
Okay. So, bakit kayo naging excited dito sa business idea na ito?
Kasi going back to the business model, medyo to think yung whole idea niya is really profitable provided you find the right location. You will lease a specific area and then you will sublease the smaller spaces to other small business owners. Kumbaga magkakaroon ka ng steady stream of income through the rentals itself. On top of that, meron ka pang portion doon sa sales na ibebenta ng mga sublessors mo. So kumbaga, 2 incomes kagad siya at one get-go or at a get-go.
Oo, so magandang ang konsepto 'yun, So how big did it grow?
We spent around 500,000 all in all for the business. So it's a combination of corporate loan from me and savings ni Karen when she was still working as a nurse. And then we also have credits, utang dun sa parents niya, and then sa mga kaibigan ko din. So we come up with a capital of 500,000 pesos. And inside that specific boutique, there's also a small space for dine-in. So may restaurant din kami doon. So we are selling silogs, steaks, and french fries, burgers para dalawa yung types ng customer na makikater namin. More on the fashion side and those people na mahilig kumain.
So, ang ganda ng konsepto, Kaloy? It was something that could serve your customers. Kaya lang sabi mo na bankrupt siya.
Apo.
Oo. How come?
I think it all boiled down doon sa how you started the business, how truthful and honest when you were starting the business. So hindi lang naman kami yung owner noon ni Karen. So we have also business partners at that time. So we had an agreement and that agreement unfortunately was not placed into paper. So hindi siya na-follow to the dot. So nagkaroon na kami ng skepticism, nagkaroon na din ng parang hindi pagkakatiwala sa isa't isa. Yung business hindi siya napatakbo ng with full honesty, and I think that was the start of our downfall. Kumbaga hindi din kami binless ng Lord because we started the business not correctly and not truthfully.
Is it okay if I ask you more questions about that partnership?
Of course.
Yeah. All right. So usually when people go into partnership, it is because they don't have something and they need something. Kaya nagtumanggap sila ng partner.
Exactly.
So in case, what was it exactly that you did not have that you needed from your partners and vice versa?
Okay. So the agreement was we will provide capital for the business and then our partners will be running the business themselves. Kumbaga, yung industrial side, yung idea and yung execution sa kanila because they were former boutique owners then. They were successful boutique owners then. Okay. So we will be bringing the capital, we will be bringing the money. They will invest some equipments like the CCTVs, the racks, but it did not happen. So yung mga CCTVs, yung mga aircons, hindi siya natupad. Yung entire production din, operations actually, napunta lang din sa amin ng wife ko that time. So we were running the business mo. Pasok ako sa office ng 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. and then papahinga ako saglit. Tutulungan ko siya dun sa store. So medyo puyat-puyat pa ako noon. Pupunta ako sa store, mag-aayos kami ng stocks, mag-aayos kami ng sales, aayusin din namin yung restaurant. And it really took a toll in me. Talagang napagod talaga ako doon. I also decided to resign para makapag full-time kasi I was hoping na mabuboost namin yung sales and yung operations to support the business. But unfortunately, hindi rin talaga siya nangyari.
So, how long nabuhay itong negosyo na to?
The business lasted for 8 months on one location that was in Imus. And then we tried to relocate it to Calamba, Laguna. We rented another space. I think it lasted for about 3 months. And then we also tried to source funding to open another space here in General Trias. Ililipat sana. But na-rent namin yung space, nagbayad kami ng 3 months deposit for 90,000 pero wala na kaming funding to start the store. So ang nangyari, naging warehouse na lang namin yung store dito sa General Trias na hindi na nabuksan.
And how were you able to liquidate na yung remaining stocks na hindi na nabuksan yung tindahan?
Ayun nga, so we had to sell them to other boutique owners. Yung iba, kinalakal na lang. Yung iba, in-stock na lang muna sa bahay until such time na ma-liquidate namin lahat. Pero hindi naman din talaga na-liquidate lahat.
Oo. Yeah. I also had that experience. My cousin and I, we started na nagtinda kami ng mga bags. Nung hindi pa uso yung branded bags. Tapos the last bag, hindi na namin alam kung anong gagawin. Ginamit na lang namin. Hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa. Hindi ba? Kasi some were party bags. So, pwede pa naman yung mga ganon. So, yeah. That must be very sad, no? So, how did you handle yung emotional and financial stress as a couple?
You know, Mami Negosyo, the thing there is, I was actually confident despite na sobrang utang namin na 500,000, sobrang laki. Confident ako na mababayaran ko. Kumbaga, yung vision ko na mabayaran siya, andon. Although wala pa akong idea kung paano. Kumbaga, yung goal, yung idea na mababayaran ko siya, nandun. Pero yung on how, wala pa siya. I also asked, advice from a law student. Sabi niya, nako, wala naman nakukulong sa utang. So, kahit di mo na siya bayaran. Pero sa akin kasi, my response was very simple. Sabi ko sa kanya, babayaran ko yan. Tao kami nung pinautang nila. So, tao din kami na dapat bayaran kung ano man yung pagkakautang nila. And true enough, the Lord was very true to His promise. And nabayaran naman namin siya in a span of 2 to 3 years.
So, was there any challenge sa mga creditors? Kasi yung iba, mga kamag-anak nyo naman, so I think that should have been easy. Pero how about others na hindi ba kayo na-pressure, hindi ba kayo inaway, dinala sa barangay, and all of those horror stories?
Actually, Mami, and good question yan, no? So, di ba, sabi ko nga kanina, I had a personal loan. So, it was with the bank, no? So, yung bank, if hindi ka nakakabayad on time, ibebenta nila yung information mo or ipapass nila yung information mo sa debt collectors.
Yes.
So, itong mga debt collectors na to, medyo nanghaharas na sila.
Nanghaharas, oo.
So, nalaman nila yung totoong pangalan ko, hinanap nila ako sa Facebook, and then isa-isa nilang mini-message yung mga friends ko.
Wow.
So, syempre sa akin, meron din akong character and meron din akong face value na iniingatan. Kasi imagine, team leader ako sa isang company. Ayoko din naman madawit yung company doon sa naging problema ko, no? So, medyo nahihiya ako at that time. So, ang ginawa ko, nag-deactivate muna ako temporarily ng Facebook. Nagpalit muna ako ng pangalan para at least hindi na ma-message yung mga personal friends ko on Facebook. So, quiet muna ako for quite some time until nakahanap kami ng additional gig sa freelancing nga. So, that started 2019. So, nung nakaipon ako ng 90,000, I immediately called the bank na sabi ko baka pwedeng makahingi ng new credit assessment, baka pwedeng makahingi ng discounts dun sa utang ko. Kaya kong bayaran 90K ngayon, cold cash, dadaling ko sa bangko. Pag pumayag kayo, babayaran ko siya now. pumayag yung bangko, binigyan nila ako ng details. I mean, yung debt collector, binigyan nila ako ng details. Pumila ako sa Security Bank, binayad ko yung 90,000 na hawak ko. Alam mo, Mami, nung paglabas ko sa Security Bank, alam mo yung para kang bagong bawas sa CR. Parang nakapagbawas ka. Sobrang gaan sa pakiramdam, sobrang saya na nakapagbayad ka doon sa pinagkakautangan mo. And I think that was also the start of the number of blessings that came into our life.
Yeah. Totoo yan, Kaloy. Hindi pwedeng takbuhan natin yung utang. We really have to pay and we really have to go and talk to the people na hindi natin mababayaran, ask them to wait muna, yung hindi tayo magtatago, di ba? So that is what makes it magaan. Na pagdaanan din namin yan at alam namin. Kaya one of the lessons I teach my kids is never kayong mangungutang na hindi magbabayad because your name is more important than the money that you were able to borrow. Yeah, I'm really glad that your honesty and your experience is really very helpful to the people who are watching us now. Pero na-imagine ko, ang hirap siguro, pareho kayong, syempre, hindi naman pwedeng ikaw lang yung na-bankrupt, yung asawa mo hindi, kasi magkasama kayo. But was there any sisihan or how did you mitigate that? Yung when nagkakatinginan kayo at pareho kayong may utang, pareho kayong nakalubog sa utang, how did you handle that as a couple?
My wife has ever been supportive from the get-go. Sabi nga nila, a man with dreams needs a woman who believes. From the get-go, napaka-supportive niya. And wala din talagang sisihan. So I took all the responsibility of paying the debtors. And even dun sa parents niya. Kasi nga umutang din kami dun sa parents niya. So ang laking utang na loob ko dun sa mom and dad ng wife ko. So yun, his father even mentioned na kasi nalaman nga na nag-resign ako sa work. This statement actually boosted my ego. Sabi niya, okay lang yan, masipag naman yan si Carlo. Kumbaga, tiwala sila na makaka-bounce pa kami. So yun, wala naman nangyaring sisihan. We took the responsibility ourselves and we talked to the people whom we have credits and we asked for timeline, extension para makapagbayad. And nakapagbayad naman kami. Sa awa ng Diyos.
Yeah. So, sabi nga nila, Kaloy, as long as it is in your heart to pay, the how may not be evident now, pero pag ang importante is nakadecide ka na ako'y magbabayad, darating at darating yan, yung opportunity na yan, na kahit na hindi mo alam kung papaano. Okay. So, I would like to address some questions dito. Kasi baka mamaya mamaya it might be too late na to answer this. Sa Facebook to, how do you overcome failure in business, especially when your business partner is dishonest? And how do you overcome the fear of starting over again?
So, ang maganda kasi sa circle ko, I also have friends who are business owners. So, start ko muna yung doon sa dishonesty, So, doon sa dishonesty, kumbaga, wala na, hindi din kasi kaming dalawa, hindi kami confrontational na tao eh. So, parang kinimkim na lang namin sa sarili namin and we took accountability na lang doon sa business. We tried to salvage the business as much as we can. We tried to support the business as much as we can. And we did not blame anyone doon sa nangyaring mishap doon sa business namin. And to starting all over again, so that's another good question. So yung business partner namin nagsabi na baka pwede pa kayo mag-loan or pwede pa tayo mag-start ulit. So ngayon, nilapit ko siya doon sa friend ko na business owner, si Roy Gumpal. Shoutout lang. Royson. So tinanong ko sa kanya, Roy, ano bang magandang strategy dito? Uutang pa ba kami o stop na? So sabi niya, stop na daw, start na lang ng panibago. Kumbaga ang idea doon is wag ka nang kumuha ng another stone na ipupukol mo sa ulo mo. So yun yung pinaka wake up call namin na i-give up na lang yung business and to source for other sources for income. Yun.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you, Kaloy, also, experience din namin yan. Sabi nga nila, kapag baon ka na sa utang, huwag kang mangungutang para magbayad sa utang. no? Ang pangungutang ay para gamitin mo as puhunan para sa iyong negosyo, pero hindi pambayad ng utang kasi lalong lalalim at lalalim. Dahil hindi mo nabayaran yung first na utang mo, mangungutang ka pa. Tama yung sinabi mo, no? Yung bato na ipupukol sa sariling ulo. Okay, from Facebook pa rin, si Fernandez Miki, sabi niya, how did you regain trust in yourself, in your team, no? May team ka na ba nun? And your stakeholders after experiencing bankruptcy. Yung paniniwala sa sarili na kaya ko pa ba to? Baka mag-nurse na lang ako o baka mag-abroad na lang ako. What happened?
Sa akin kasi, ang naging driving motivation ko nun is yung debts, unang-una, syempre kailangan mong isettle yon. So there's no time to sulk, there's no time to be sad, only time to bounce back. So yun yung unang naging motivation ko. Pangalawa, yung dream ko talaga na maging financially secured because we're planning to get married that time na din. Kasi nag-propose na din ako before we even started the business. And gusto din namin makapag-give back dun sa family namin. So inisantabi muna namin yung mga problema and we focused on the reality na we really have to face yung problems head on. Wala akong exact answer on how I was able to regain myself, how I was able to trust myself again. Siguro, nag-revolve lang ako dun sa deeper why. Bakit ko ba to ginagawa? Bakit ko ba kailangan bumangon? Bakit ko ba kailangan magtrabaho or magnegosyo ulit? Ganon siya.
Yan, no? So, ang lesson ay deeper why. Sana, no? Parati nating naririnig yan, no? The people who are successful have a very deep why. Hindi na nila iniisip yung drama sa buhay nila dahil lahat naman tayo may drama. Pero bakit? Bakit natin kailangan ituloy? There is a deeper why. There's a bigger reason. And usually, it is for ourselves, for the people that we love. So, dito sa next question ko naman, no? So, may mga mistakes kayong na-commit. Pero ano yung biggest mistakes that you made with the cafe that you now tell other couplepreneurs to avoid?
For me, as much as possible, gradually grow. So, start small ka lang. If you have time, don't go into physical stores yet. Don't go into the physical business itself yet. Kung kaya naman siya digital or if kaya mo siyang i-maintain as small as possible. Kasi yung rentals, yung overhead expenses, kakainin ka niyan. Lagi ko nga sinishare dun sa mga kaibigan ko. Nakakapogi lang talaga tignan na may physical store ka. Pero yung mga lugawan dyan sa labas, mas sila pa ang kumikita kaysa sa amin. So don't scale up just for the fun. Scale up when the need is already there.
Tama, no? Parang bata yan, ano? Hindi ka biglang tatakbo, ano? Gagapang ka muna ng konti, uupo ka muna, dadapa ka muna ng konti until you develop the muscles that will make you strong enough bago ka humawak ng malaking negosyo. Alam mo, Kaloy, ang daming OFW na ito yung kanilang mistake. Ang ginagawa nila, mag-iipon sila sa labas, tapos milyon, tapos pupunta sila, uuwi sila, at mag-uumpisa ng negosyo na wala pa silang kaalam-alam, walang ka-experience sa negosyo. Kaya either na na-scam sila or nalulugi sila. Dahil nga, tama yung sinabi mo, Kaloy, no? You have to start small. Huwag masyadong mayabang. Hindi mo naman sinabi yon, pero parang ganun na rin, no? Parang mong ipakita sa mundo na eto, meron na akong business. Tapos, ang dami ring mga nagre-retire, mga 50 years old, 60 years old, nagre-retire, milyon yung nakuhang pensyon, tapos nilalagay sa malaking negosyo. But I agree with you, no? Business is a skill. Dapat maliit muna, umpisan muna natin. Pag nakuha na natin yung skill, parang driving, parang learning how to swim, no? You need to develop the muscles, the skill first bago tayo pumunta sa malaking negosyo. Yan. Okay. So, nasagot mo na yata ito, no? Pero I will still ask the question. After losing so much money, how did you find the courage to start another business together? At ano yung nag-convince sa'yo to start again? Alam ko, nasabi mo, it's your bigger why. But you might want to add something to it.
Sige, ikwento ko na lang din on how we started sa Task Break. So, actually, pauwi kami ni Karen noon. I think we were already closing down the store. So, bumabiyahe kami, nasa biyahe kami noon. So, nag-iisip kami kung ano ba yung core skill namin. So, halimbawa ako kasi galing ako sa call center, galing ako sa customer service. Siya naman, nurse nurse siya, pero may idea na siya sa online work. So sabi niya, bakit hindi mo try mag-online work? Tapos sabi ko, oo nga no, kasi nga dati pa, naisip ko na din yan. Tapos nag-start kami ng compute. Sabi ko, siguro kung merong magbabayad sa atin na $3 per hour, let's say sabihin mong 50 pesos per $1, so may 150 pesos na ako. In 4 hours, may ganito na ako. Meron na akong 150, 300, or 600 pesos. I-times ko in 1 week, magkakaroon na ako ng ganito. So, yung pag-bounce back namin, hindi siya engrande. Talagang nag-isip lang kami ng small realistic steps. So imagine mo kung may 15,000 tayo a month, at least we would be able to get by. Kasi during that time, talagang delata na lang ang kinakain naming mag-asawa noon. Kung di pa kami bibigyan ng parents namin ng extra cash, di kami makakain ng other than canned goods. There was also this one time na pumunta ako sa mom ko. May inabot siyang ganyan, naka-close fist lang siya. Pag open ko, 1,000 pesos pala. So ganun na kami, kasadsad talaga. So yun, so going back, so nag-try akong mag-work as an online freelancer. There's this platform called Upwork. So, I started my career there. Hindi agad kami nakakuha ng $3 per hour. So, sabi ko, start muna nating buuin yung portfolio, buuin yung sarili natin sa platform na to. So, there was this American who was doing podcast similar to what you do. And the job was to transcribe the whole podcast. Ang bayad niya noon ay 2,000 pesos for 80 hours. So, 2 weeks ko yun ginawa. So, kung kukumputin mo siya, so para lang siyang 12 pesos per hour. Parang ganon, if my math is correct. So, nung natapos ko yung gig na yon, nakakuha ko sa kanya ng 5-star review. So, doon ako nagkaroon ng boost of confidence na, meron na akong review, meron na akong feedback sa tunay na customer abroad. Baka pwede na ako sa bigger clients. Nakahanap ako ng agency naman sa Philippines. They were paying $3 an hour. So, medyo maganda na yun, no? So, kung $3 per hour, if my math is correct again, so nasa 30,000 na din siya a month. So, mas malaki na siya compared doon sa kinikita ko as an operation supervisor or similar. So, 30,000 lang din kasi nasa Cavite kami noon. So, yun. Ang kaso dito sa agency na to, nagpaalam ako magbe-birthday leave ako, ma'am, sir, kasi nga birthday ko tomorrow. So pumayag sila, pinadalhan nila ako ng cake, but the following day, they terminated my contract.
Oh
So
no.
we were devastated again. Siguro yun din yung driving force ko kung bakit ako nagtayo ng sarili kong agency. So after that, naghanap ulit kami ng other clients dun sa platform, and then nakahanap naman kami ng US-based client, pero Singaporean siya. And then this specific client found out that I was a leader already from a previous organization. So sabi niya, Carlo, I'm planning to build up a team. Kasi nga, the store that I'm handling, it's an online store. The store is really growing. So I need a couple of you, a couple of yourself to manage the business or the sales. So that's the time when the idea na to build an agency came from. It was actually shared by another colleague. Sabi, Kaloy, try mo mag-build ng agency through Upwork. Since binigyan ka na ng client mo ng opportunity na mag-hire ng tao, why not start an agency? And then ako kasi yung tao na medyo medyo prompt ako eh. Kumbaga, hindi ko na masyado pinag-isipan. Get go ako pag may nakita akong opportunity. Ginagrab ko na agad yan. So nag-search ako how to start an agency inside Upwork. So nakita ko 1,000 lang naman yung capital. So what's 1,000 compared to 500,000 na nalugi sa amin? So I started the agency, I hired the people, and the rest was history.
Oh, so naging blessing pa na meron kang naluging 500,000 dahil
Yes.
kung kaya mo na malugi ng 500,000 at you survive, then what is something that is smaller than that, no? Kayang-kaya. Ibig sabihin, naging benchmark mo na yon. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. No, so ngayon, now that you have already achieved success no sa Task Me Quick, anong itsura ng success para sa inyong dalawa ni Karen? Ano yung pagbabago sa lifestyle ninyo na after na overcome ninyo yung bankruptcy sa first business tapos nag-succeed na kayo dito sa Task Me Quick? And I heard that you have more than 100 employees now.
So, yung success para sa aming mag-asawa is having the flexibility to attend to our growing family. without, being bothered or being tied up to responsibilities at work. So, when we were starting Tasmic Pick, si Karen talaga din yung isa sa pinakamasipag na agent namin. Actually, hindi ko pa alam na buntis na siya at that time, pero nagjo-duty pa din siya overnight. So, siguro yung success para sa akin is we were able to build a business that is somehow automated, and we were able to retire my wife from working in the business para maging full-time mother siya doon sa 3-year-old kid namin. So, para sa akin yun yung naging ultimate flex na naialis ko yung wife ko doon sa 9 to 5 para maging 24-hour mom naman siya. Kasi di ba,
enjoy siya doon sa ganun.
Enjoy naman siya doon. Kumukuha pa din naman ako sa kanya ng thoughts in running the business on how to improve it. Pero for now, ang goal namin is to attend to our growing kid, siya as a full-time mother. Kasi, hindi naman natatapos sa 9 to 5 sa pagpapadede ang pagiging nanay. 24 hours yan. So, kumbaga, mas na-assign pa siya sa mas mahirap na trabaho.
That's so true. No? That's so true. Yeah. So ang daming pinagdaanan. How were you able to cope as couplepreneurs? Alam ko nakapag-cope na kayo pareho sa mga pinagdaanan ninyong failure towards success, no? Nakwento mo na. Pero paano yung mga decision making? Paano yung how should we start a business? Ito ba okay ba ito? Ito ba ganyan? Paano yung ginawa ang mga decision? Kasi maraming mga couplepreneurs nahihirapan sa pagdedesisyon. Nagtuturuan o kaya naghihintayan. But in your case, how did you manage that?
Siguro sa amin, kasi ako yung taong spontaneous. Si Karen naman yung, slow down muna. So, kumbaga, naging balancer ko siya. Kumbaga, while I'm the get-go person, very spontaneous person, siya naman yung nagsasabi na, hinay-hinay, makinig ka muna dito sa akin. So, I think it's a perfect balance between our different characteristics. And siguro, my advice to couplepreneurs, hindi ibig sabihin na lalaki ka, ikaw lagi magdidesisyon. Always seek advice from your partner, from your wife, kasi meron silang mga aspects na hindi mo nakikita na sila ang nakakakita. So it's really both contributions na kailangan talagang bigyan ng pansin.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. At saka yung sinasabi mo, no, kasi hindi ba opposites attract, Kaloy, ano? Kung pareho kayong mahiyain, paano kayong mag-a-attract, 'di ba? Kaya kailangan yung isa spontaneous like you, tapos si Karen ay siya yung hinay-hinay.
Medyo reserved naman.
Yes, and if you opposites are attracting, that means that kung ano yung meron ka na strength, weakness niya, kung ano yung strength niya, weakness mo rin. Kaya you need to work together. I always do this sa aking mga talks to tell my couplepreneurs that kapag kayo ay nagtulungan, ang hirap ninyong buwagin, right? Pero kung nagkahiwalay kayong ganyan, madali lang. Madali lang kayong matalo. Yan. Kaya you need to really, really work together. Okay. So, si Eclairy Revelli kanina sabi tama kayo about OFWs dahil pinagsasamantalahan daw ng mga kamag-anak na utangan tapos may ipopropose na business, lolokohin naman in the end. Kaya kawawa talaga ang mga OFW. Huwag magtitiwala sa mga kamag-anak. How to avoid this? Ang tanong ni Eclairy, how to avoid na hindi lokohin ng mga kamag-anak, kayo mismo matutong magnegosyo. Kayo mismo yung mag-umpisa ng negosyo. Never na ipakubaya yung negosyo sa mga kamag-anak ninyo na wala kayo dito. You have to come home. Ayan ang aking advice. Very rare akong nakakita. Halos wala nga akong nakikitang mga OFW na nagpapadala lang ng pera tapos nagsasucceed yung business eh. Meron nga akong experience, Kaloy, alam mo, nanay mismo niya. Hindi sa manloloko yung nanay, kundi binigyan niya ng puhunan yung nanay, so nagnegosyo sila ng nanay niya, kaso yung kapatid niya nagkasakit. O, siyempre, yung nanay kukuha ng pera dun sa negosyo mo at ibibigay sa kapatid dahil anak din niya yun eh. At the end, she will not be able to refuse. Kaya mahirap talaga kung hindi kayo uuwi. Wag na lang. Ipunin nyo na lang yung pera ninyo until such time that you are ready to do business. That is my advice. No? Ikaw, Kaloy, what do you think?
I also agree with you. Dapat nandun ka din sa operations ng business. Kagaya nga sa amin, nandun na nga kami, nalugi pa kami. What more kung wala ka dun sa business na nirarun mo? And may kasabayhan nga, di ba, blood is thicker than water. Tama naman yun. Pero at doon sa negosyo, hindi siya always applicable. Unless you're really from a family who has built a business empire or traditional business na naipapasa naman din ng magulang sa anak. Pero kung kayo ay wala pang experience sa pagnenegosyo, it's really best to start on your own way. Kahit maliit lang, pwede ka magbenta ng mga mag-buy and sell, which is the most common. There, you would already have a first-hand experience kung paano makipag-deal sa tao at kung paano kumilatis ng tao, which is ma-apply mo yun as you grow the business.
Yeah, agree, no? Ang ganda ng advice ni Kaloy. Okay, so si Eclery pa rin, sabi niya, is it not advisable to build a business with a family, relative, or friend? I think si Kaloy has a very good experience about building a business with a family, with a relative pala. Kaloy, would you want to share that experience na pinagkwentuhan natin? Pero nandito siya. Yun ang point. The difference is, Kaloy is here. Hindi siya nasa abroad at yung kanyang mga kamag-anak ang nag-manage. Nandito siya at nakikita niya kung ano yung ginagawa ng kanyang relative.
Siguro, Mami, and sa akin, you can involve your family member kapag ongoing na yung business. I mean, medyo profitable na or tumagal na ng 2 years. Pero to start, I really firmly believe na you should start it on your own or with other people na hindi related sa'yo. Para walang samaan ng loob, kapag ka napapagalitan, you can have full authority without feeling bad if you reprimand a family member na naging employee mo. On our case, nag-run na yung business namin for 2-3 years before I was able to employ my father as a business consultant. Pero on the starting days, lumalapit ako sa kanya for advice, pero the whole operations gusto ko sa akin talaga. Nung medyo malaki na yung business, nung kailangan na talaga ng tulong, siya na mismo ang lumapit sa amin na kung gusto mo tulungan kita, and sino ba naman ako para tanggihan ng aking father's health. So siguro on the latter part of the business, you can ask a relative to be part of your operations.
Yeah. Tama, no? So, I also agree with that. Again, no? Ang business kasi, parang baby yan, no? First few years, hindi ba, meron pang immunization, kung anong ginagawa sa bata, inaalalayan talaga. Because the first few years is really very delicate. Kaya hindi pwedeng labo-labo na lang kahit na sino-sino nandyan. No? Take care of the baby, which is the business. At pag strong na, that is the time you can bring in people. Although kami, in our case, we had a problem before dahil sa aming kaibigan na naging partner na medyo kahit nandoon na kami, ganun pa rin. Mahirap eh. Hindi mo mapagsabihan ng kaibigan, hindi mo mapagsabihan ng pamangkin, no? Sasabihin, ikaw ay mata pobre porque mayaman ka, sila mahirap. May mga dramatic na mga kwento-kwento. Tapos pag pinagalitan mo kung ano yung isusumbong doon sa auntie mo, ngayon ang mangyayari yung nanay mo tsaka yung auntie mo, kaya ikaw ang auntie mo, kayo magiging mortal enemies. Dahil syempre kakampihan nun yung kanyang anak. Kaya very complicated ang kumuha ng mga relatives at saka mga anak ng friends because you will be losing the relative, you'll be losing the friend. Yung friend, if you lose one friend, masakit. Pero kung relative, ang mangyayari dyan ay family feud. Generations of away yan. Nagsisisihan. Kaya as much as possible, I would advise people to avoid getting relatives talaga. So yung experience ni Kaloy, napakaswerte dahil yung father niya yung tumulong. Ako rin yung at a certain point, it was my mom helping us sign checks, especially when we're on travel, nung buhay pa siya. Kaya maswerte tayo kung meron tayong mga parents na ganyan. Yan. Okay. So, Rich is asking, how po to start like na ginagawa ni Kaloy? I think Rich also asked a question kanina na how to apply as a VA para magkaroon ng online extra income dahil may tindahan daw siya at malaki daw yung kanyang time.
There are, sa akin, ang pwede kong i-recommend na platform, siguro itatype ko na lang doon sa chat box, is Upwork.
Look for Upwork.
Upwork.com.
Maraming swindler daw sa Upwork. Ano yung i-avoid natin para hindi tayo maswindle sa Upwork?
Okay. So, meron namang certain criterias naman sa jobs na being posted online. So, as much as possible, only apply to those jobs that has already spent, minimum spent. Let's say, for example, the client has already paid $10,000 above, $5,000 above. So, may mga criterias naman doon that will clearly show if the client is active and has a business per se. So, makikita mo naman yon when you're looking for jobs. So, kung bago ka pa lang din, avoid applying to jobs that are fairly new. Kumbaga, wala pang experience and wala pang portfolio yung client dun sa specific platform na yun. Halimbawa, doon sa Upwork.
Yun, no? I hope that was clear, no? Go to Upwork, pero pipili tayo kung saan tayo mag-a-apply. So, applyan natin yung mga taong meron ng experience. So, meron ng mga ratings at meron ng mga...
Yan, ratings.
Meron ng mga numbers na kung magkano na yung nagastos nila sa Upwork para sigurado natin na legit. Kasi marami daw dyan na nagpapatrabaho tapos hindi ka babayaran. Yun, may mga ganun. So, yan. That's how you can avoid it. Okay, si Fernandez Miggy again. After going through bankruptcy, Kaloy, what practices or habits do you now consider non-negotiable for running a sustainable business?
So sa akin, ang non-negotiable is to be present at times. Hindi naman na may sakit ka, pumapasok ka. I mean, present, being in the moment. If there's an opportunity, always grab it. If there's a chance to prove yourself, be there, always show up, especially sa mga meetings. And just like this podcast, actually mahiyain din ako, hindi lang halata. I was also contemplating if I would be joining this podcast session, pero kasi every experience is a growing experience for me. So yun lang ako, nagfo-focus ako doon sa personal growth and sa career development. So, inisantabi ko muna yung hiha-hiya. Ang fino-focus ko is on how to be present para ma-improve ko din yung sarili ko.
Yeah. So, always say, yes, ako yun.
Yes.
No? So, totoo yan, Kaloy, no? Yung mga kaklase ko, maniwala kayo, hindi. Nagugulat sila na nalalaman nilang na ako'y merong mga videos sa Facebook, no? At kung saan-saan. Alam nyo po, 10,000 na lang, magwa 1 million followers na tayo sa Facebook. Kaya pag hindi pa kayo nagfa-follow, follow na para madagdagan. Malapit-lapit tayo sa 1 million. Pero ang point ko is, ikikwento ko lang, nagugulat sila dahil nung kaklase nila ako, nasa isang corner lang ako, tahimik lang ako, hindi ako nagre-recite. Kung hindi ako tatawagin, I never recite. Pero ngayon, I do this. Why? Because gusto ko lang makatulong. At kung iniisip ko lang yung sarili ko, hindi na ako magpapakita sa online. Hindi na ako magpapakita sa mga videos na yan. Pero ang iniisip ko yung mga taong nangangailangan ng mga lessons na pwede kong i-share. Yung mga taong tulad ninyo, anak, no, na magkakaroon kayo ng lessons from the sharing of Kaloy. Kaya, because of that, sige, sabi ko tuloy-tuloy tayo. Tuloy-tuloy tayo hanggang nakakatulong pa tayo. Now, ito yung si Joanna kanina na nagtatanong. Ask ko lang po about sa pricing ng product. When it comes to pricing, na nag-struggle po ako sa price ko po. Ang business namin ay motor shop. It's still running until now, 5 years na rin. Kadalasan po kami sa mga motor parts ay ang mga item minsan may SRP po pero nababaliwala. Kaya po ang nangyayari, nag-a-above SRP po para sa more income, which is yung nakasanayan nila. And kadalasan kasi kapag sinusunod nila ang SRP, mas maliit ang income. Kaya ang tagal sa motor parts, umabot na rin, nabibuild na ng image, na branding, etc. Feeling niya dahil above SRP sila kadalasan ay baka nakilala na sila na mataas ang presyo when it comes to, okay, the customers. Hindi kami agad yung unang choice sa market. Kaya ito po kami ngayon. Gusto namin baguhin yung system about pricing. Okay, mukhang mahaba ito. Ewan ko lang, siguro si Kaloy can share dahil nagbenta ka rin naman ng buy and sell. What do you think about this?
Good question. Na-relate mo yung buy and sell ko doon, no? So, ang nangyayari kasi kay ma'am, mukhang price wars na sila. So, nagbababaan na ng presyo. So, go beyond SRP. So mahirap talaga yung labanan, especially kung yung competitor mo is malaki talaga yung capital. And may mga sabi-sabi na mahilig daw sa mga ganyan yung mga Chinese, no? So since madami silang network, nakakahiram sila ng pampuhunan para mas maibaba pa nila yung presyo nila. So sa akin, that time, nagkakaroon din ng price wars doon sa buy and sell ng relo. So ako kasi, ginaya ko yung strategy nung Chinese na supplier ko. So sabi niya, okay lang maliit kita basta maraming benta. So at some point, talagang kailangan mong ibaba yung presyo mo as long as madami kang nakikater na tao. Pero medyo tricky din kasi siya, lalo na sa business ni ma'am na 5 years na. So may pangalan na din sila and may pwesto na din sila. Medyo tricky din yung pagbababa ng pwesto. Pero ako, personally, when I was starting, nung maliit pa kami, selling watches, doon ko nakita yung pinaka-essence of catering more people, and then yung income na lang will follow. So for me, yun yung naging magandang experience ko when it comes to buy and selling. Mababa yung presyo, okay lang na maliit ang kita basta marami ang benta.
Yeah. No, especially kung people can compare at pare-pareho yung binibenta ninyo. Tulad ng bigas. Halimbawa, pare-pareho. You cannot tell naman ano yung bigas mo. Yung bigas ko, wala namang label yan. Or itlog. Ganon. No? So talagang bagsakan ng presyo yan. Kaya aking advice naman pag ganyan, paano yung pricing? Susundan mo yung mga competitors mo. Kung mababa yung presyo, bababa rin yung presyo mo. Kung magtataas sila ng presyo, taas ka rin ng presyo. Hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng sariling mundo na ikaw lang yung may presyo na ganon. Kasi people will always compare. So if you want na gusto mong kumita ng mas malaki, then pumunta ka sa negosyo na hindi maliit ang patong. Marami namang mga negosyo dyan na pwede kang magpatong ng malaki kasi hindi naman pare-pareho. No? There is what you call the point of differentiation. Halimbawa, bagoong. Kung mas masarap naman yung bagoong mo kaysa sa bagoong nung isa, kung mas maganda yung packaging mo kaysa yung packaging nung kabila, then pwede kang magbigay ng mas mataas, maglagay ng mas mataas na price. But you should be able to justify. Pero kung pare-pareho, medyo mahirap. Now again, si Joy Peña, merong ngayong nasubukan mo na magkaroon ng partner. Will you still want to open a business with a business partner? Kaloy.
Another on-point question, no? So ngayon, yung papers namin, kasi ngayon, as a company, we're still sole ownership. So the whole ownership is still with me. And then, my father suggested na we open a corporation for the company, Tasmic Quick. And then, he said to look for potential partners and investor. So, dahil nga may trauma na ako before, hindi pa ako masyado maka-move on in accepting partnership. And at the same time, for me kasi, hindi pa siya napapanahon. Kumbaga, the business is still profitable. We can still manage within the whole operation. So for me, adding a partner to divide responsibility and decision making is not yet applicable for me as of now. So I think at some point, marireach ko na yung plateau, yung threshold na hindi ko na talaga kaya at hindi na talaga nag-grow yung business. Saka pa lang ako maghahanap ng partner. Just like what I've said earlier, doon sa experience ko, kasi naka-tie up to sa scaling up and sa growth. Don't scale up because of fad. Scale because of the need. So kung hindi pa naman kailangan ng partner, huwag ka munang kumuha ng partner. Kung kailangan na ng additional investor because you need to grow the company, then that's the time. Sila naman din ang lalapit sa iyo if you are already a well-known business or a profitable business.
Yeah. No, so yun, you heard it from somebody who has experienced partnership. So yun, kung hindi naman kailangan, wag na lang. Ikaw na lang muna. Kami, we got burned already with a partner. No? Napaka-religious pa nung partner namin. No? Yung asawa, medyo pastor pa nga daw Pero sila pa yung nanloko sa amin. So, since that time, parang napaso na kami. Wag na lang tayong masyadong mag-ambisyon na malaki. No? Let's just grow slowly until such time that makayanan natin. Sheila, Sir Timo Pelipel, Sir Kaloy, can you share some important tips on how to build an online agency para sa mga VA? Maraming salamat po.
So for me, equip yourself with the right skill muna. Kasi ako, my golden rule is before I assign a certain project, when I was starting, before I assign a certain project to a contractor or to a freelancer under our agency, I'll make sure na kaya kong gawin kung ano yung pinapatrabaho sa kanya. Para kung mag-fail man si freelancer, I still can step up and support the need of the client. Siyempre, ang iniiwasan natin dyan is magkaroon ng bad reviews, bad experience yung clients natin. So as much as possible, start learning the needed skills first. Find out your niche, your specific area that you would like to dive in. Learn the skills required there and then start growing small. So for me, start learning the skills first before growing or building your own agency.
Yan. So, ikaw muna, no? Dapat kaya mong gawin yung mga pinapagawa mo sa kanya.
Yes.
And ito, tamang-tama yung tanong, yung sagot mo, Kaloy, dito kay Dino Tarosa. Sabi niya may air conditioning business na raw siya ng 12 years, hindi nag-grow dahil siya lang yung employee, siya yung gumagawa ng lahat. Napatagal naman yung kanya, 12 years na, no? Main customer niya is domestic, household, etc., no? Anong advice at paano siyang pwedeng mag-umpisa? So ngayon, tulad mo, Kaloy, VA ka na, tapos naging agency. Eto namang si Dino, yan, gumagawa siya ng mga bagay-bagay na related sa air conditioning. Paano naman siyang mag-grow?
Siguro mahirap din talaga maging one-man team. So for 12 years, I can really imagine yung hard work, dedication, and yung sweat na inalaan ni Sir Dino. So I think now is the best time to add an employee, train someone you trust. Siguro naman meron kang someone within your network na nagtatanong sa'yo, oy, paano ba yung ginagawa mo? Or if not, there are other Facebook groups. Search ka lang dyan, siguro buy and sell groups na mga air conditioning. Makakahanap ka naman ng tao dyan na pwede mong i-train na maging kahalili mo sa business mo. Kasi you can't really service everyone. So, kailangan mo din ng taong tutulong sa'yo. Kailangan mo din ng taong aagapay sa'yo sa mga customers na lumalapit sa'yo.
Yan. You cannot do it all alone, no? Dino, you cannot do it all alone. So, kanina meron akong binanggit na course, yung aking commercial. Yung Get One Task Off Your Plate. That is how you can start. If you can watch yung video doon, tuturuan ka step by step kung paano mo matitrain yung mga tao. Hindi mo naman sila gagawing technician kaagad bukas na o kaya sa isang buwan. Pero dahan-dahan lang, no? Bibigyan mo ng konting trabaho hanggang matuto sila. I'm sure si Kaloy nagawa niya na yung mga ituturo ko na nasa course kasi nakapag-develop na siya ng agency. So that's how you can do it. Kailangan may sistema sa pagde-delegate. Kailangan may sistema sa pagtuturo. Hindi yung basta sasabihin mo, manood ka, tapos hindi mo naman tuturuan, hindi nila magigets yun. Tapos, ang mangyayari, puro mali-mali, di ba? Yan. Can ask also Kaloy, no? Ano yung biggest piece of advice mo sa mga couplepreneurs about not giving up on their dreams or about business in general?
I want to quote a famous line from the UFC fighter Conor McGregor. Sabi niya, whatever you see in your mind, if you have the courage to speak it, it will happen. So, there's really power in words. So, cliche man siyang pakinggan, wala man siya dun sa economics book, pero there's really power in manifestation. Sabi nga nila, 'di ba, don't speak until everything is done. Ako naman, speak as early as possible. Kasi yun yung naging practice ko Kumbaga, I was very vocal that this is my dream. I wanted the house. I wanted the car. So, I'm manifesting it. I'm posting it through Facebook. Kasi, in my subconscious, kumbaga, napipilitan ako na gawa ng paraan. Kasi na-broadcast ko na Kumbaga, nasabi ko na sa mga tao, they're already expecting success that will come from me. So, in my subconscious, napipilitan ako gumawa, makahanap ng paraan paano makamit kung ano man yung mga sinabi ko. Again, there's really power in words. The universe will conspire to provide it to you as long as you deserve it and you work hard for it. Don't shy away in broadcasting your dreams and your plans in public.
Yeah, I love that so much, no? There's power in words. Kaya sabihin natin kung anong gusto natin para paninindigan natin yon. Kasi otherwise, di ba, pag hindi tayo nag-commit, speaking it out is really committing sa ating mga dreams. So start to commit to your dreams starting now. Yeah. So Kaloy, ang daming mga insights, no? And thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us today. And anything else? Okay. So, are there any more parting thoughts from you? And if they want to get in touch with you, Kaloy, how do they do that?
We have a Facebook page called Task Me Quick. I'm also posting job openings there every now and then. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. You can just type my name there, Carlo Angelo Orbe. Or you can just Google me. Lalabas naman na din ako doon. Nakapag-leave na tayo ng digital footprint. So, parting words for me, siguro yun nga, always be present, always be spontaneous in grabbing opportunities. Be wary of scams kasi very prevalent yan nowadays. And lastly, and most importantly, prayers will take you to places where hustle alone can. So it's also part of manifestation. If you believe in a supreme being, in God, pray to Him. Sabi nga sa Mark 11:24, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. So, yun, prayers will take you to places where hustle alone can. Yun lang.
Thank you for that. Maraming salamat ulit, Kaloy, no? And totoo yan, lahat ng mga successful na tao, lalo na yung mga dumaan sa failure, they will always tell us that prayers are the one that will help you get out of whatever place you are stuck in. So, Kaloy, it's been an honor to have you here. And sa ating mga viewers, I know you're very grateful kay Kaloy sa mga valuable insights, no? Yeah. Meron pang humabol si Joanna Solis, no? Ano yung ginawa ninyo para ma-boost ang sales? Hindi na nga kayo nag-boost ng sales, ano? Hindi mo na abutan, Joanna. They tried everything to boost the sales pero hindi nakahabol yung sales until finally sinubukan nilang lumipat from one place to another. Finally, they gave up the business and started something else. So, yon. Unless there is anything you can advise them more pa, Kaloy, dito.
Siguro nga hindi nga naabutan ni Miss Joanna. So, unang-una, take accountability dun sa loans mo. Huwag mong tatakbuhan. Have the mindset that you will pay them whatever it takes. Whatever happens, you will pay them. Tao ka nung pinahiram ka nila, so tao ka din dapat. Nabayaran mo din sila. So, ang second is talk to your creditors. Ask for payment plans. Tanong mo kung pwede kang magbayad on installment basis or kung meron ba silang mabibigay sa'yo na discount. Try to liquidate, so ibenta mo kung ano man yung kaya mong ibenta and bawasan mo muna yung expenses mo. Madaling sabihin, mahirap gawin, pero that's the reality. You have to sell items that are no longer of use to you to generate another income. And lastly, look for additional source of income. Kung hindi na talaga nag-work, it's okay to admit defeat. Sabi nila, di ba, no defeat nor surrender. Okay lang na you admit defeat. Pero syempre, you stand up again and look for other opportunities to earn more. Add additional stream of income.
No, so yun ang ginawa nila, Kaloy. At yung isang hindi niya nabanggit ngayon na binanggit niya kanina, huwag mangungutang para pambayad.
Bayad sa utang.
Oo. Kung babad na kayo sa utang, wag nang mangutang para ibayad lang sa utang dahil mawawala lang yon, lalong lulubog yon. So Joy Peña, you are very welcome. I really have this platform every Tuesday po ng 3 o'clock. If you can join us, you will learn from all the guests that we will have. No? So okay, ang daming magagandang takeaways na nakikita natin sa ating chat. So para sa ating mga viewers, salamat sa panonood. Remember to sign up sa ating free na newsletter. If you still want to learn more from Mami N, meron po tayong starter kit. Go to maminegosyo.com and log in. Tapos, you can also ask for a chance to talk to me kasi merong tatawag sa inyo at bibigyan kayo ng time na if you want to have a one-on-one with me. And don't forget to get in touch with Kaloy, ha? Connect through these Task Me Quick social media pages. Sa Facebook po, meron silang Task Me Quick na page sa LinkedIn. And if you found this session valuable, next Tuesday po, nandito po kami ulit, no? we have another episode of Meet My Friend series, From Zero to Hero, How to Grow Your Social Media Following Fast. Yung mga gustong mag-grow yung kanilang mga Facebook page at ibang mga social media pages, ang ating guest po is my beautiful friend na si Shane Funcion, a travel content creator. If you're watching her, siya po yung sa Hello Shane. Ang gaganda po ng mga videos niya. So if you want to learn how to grow your following, even if you're a business owner, register early dito sa Zoom. No? Ayan, nasa chat box na. Nasa chat box, sa comment section, yung ating Zoom link. Yan. Okay, so thank you everyone. See you next Tuesday. Thank you, Kaloy, again. And until then, keep shining and keep being business-minded Pinoy.